Welcome to my today's class. I warmly welcome to my whole audience on Zoom and also on Facebook live streaming on my page. Today we are in continuity of our ongoing study series on consciousness. We are in the week number 9, uh, and we did start study on consciousness in very detail from the book Map of Consciousness written by Dr. David Hawkins. The book, and today we are standing and we are reading. We have entered into week number 9. So week 9, what we are covering today, we will discuss about truth and infinite field that we are going to discuss, which are highlighted in a green background. The red font which you are seeing, that we have already learned, we have already read from the book, we already discussed, and uh, and that's quite interesting and very, very informative and eye-opening topics these were. Um, it was among the having, doing, being, the evolution from survival to love, human evolution, then 7 discoveries, where we can identify um, consciousness. Then last week we learned the power of intention and also the cause and effect, and also more importantly, what is I, self. Obviously, these were very big topic, but we just did touch with them um, very, very briefly, because they itself are very huge subject in spirituality and philosophy. We will also touch today, especially the idea and the reality of I self. So, um, and yeah, my name is Maratib Ali Shad, and I'm your host and facilitator, and we will continue to uh, learn on consciousness. So let's start our today's. So basically, uh, the more important thing which we can start from today is the reality. And what I say reality is not even a reality, it's a ultimate reality. There's something which we cannot know beyond, which is the ultimate truth. And what is that truth? That we are living in infinite field, infinite majestic cosmos, and that physical cosmos which we know and which even we cannot imagine, uh, that all infinite field is full of recognizing the truth, and and our consciousness basically uh, is lying on the entire infinite field, and that basically gives us the realization of consciousness, which we feel in the human being format right now. I'm a human being, you are human being, and we all are feeling that consciousness. Now, if you are not feeling and if you don't understand, only I can presume that we are ignorant and we uh, have not developed the senses to feel the consciousness within ourselves, and we are not connected with the universe, and that because of our ego, our self-centered fake or falsehood which we have developed over the thousands of years in the form of human, because and once we start to deconstruct our human body and human five senses, including egoic mind, then we can feel and realize and connect with this infinite world. So the more important thing Dr. David Hawkins is saying, that because this is entirely whole cosmology of the consciousness, and everything is connected with everything, and therefore we cannot live alone. We cannot uh, there is no such thing as private life or private thing, because everything we can identify, we can know what happened million years ago, or what will happen next, probably thousands of million years ago as well. So it could be possible because of the science and technology and its advancement. It could be because of the philosophy, and our enlightened mind is developing day by day. More souls are conscious, and they are more getting enlightenment. So that is so. I'm going to study it, and if you are on Facebook, you can also send me requests to read with me. Um, and Yeah, so you and me, and any new person will join us. We all can read together. So I'm starting it. And Dr. David Hawkins' book, The Map of Consciousness, and we are in chapter of consciousness. And his heading is Truth and Infinite Field. The basic premise of this infinite world is that it instantly recognizes truth. The infinite field of consciousness register all that has never happened throughout the time. Every thought, every feeling, every movement, every action is recorded forever. There is no such thing as privacy. Everything radiates out an energy that can read thousands of years later. We have access to all information that exists within 1 second. It takes that long to discover any secret in the universe. So that is the power of consciousness, which we just read, and everything is in recording, and we can know, and that's why we uh, are becoming enlightened and more consciously living in this planet. More secrets of the universe we are getting known. So um, it further says, to instantly know truth from the falsehood is an incredible gift. To not know the difference between the truth and falsehood has dragged humanity throughout endless war, poverty, savageries, sickness, agonies, suffering, and even the death. So, and why we are suffering in wars, poverty, and in sickness or pain and suffering, or even the scaredness from the death. And it has been narrated next in the next line. The human affliction has been one of ignorance. And what does it mean by ignorance? And does do everyone was ignorant, or that is saying no? All the great avatars, Krishna, Christ, and Buddha, say there is no only one sin, only one problem, and that is ignorance. Um, so in this world, only ignorance we can know, other than consciousness, other than unconsciousness, other than enlightenment. Okay. So ignorance is our greatest enemy of of our world. And that's why, because of that ignorance, we have thousands of wars, not even in the last century, but before thousands from last thousands of years, we have been in a severe and in endless wars for name of kings and queens, dynasties, you know, the political governments all across the world, every region, they conquer other region for name of war, and because of the war, one land becomes poor, and the other land become rich, and once that poor land become uh, start to grow and to become more rich, then they start to take the revenge from the other land. And that's how the endless wars were starting. And the the biggest what we call it, the biggest climax we saw last century, when First World War killed millions or billions of people, and even in Second World War, the millions of people and nations, hundreds of nations were affected directly, indirectly from the war, and that all because of the ignorance and the collective ego we as a nation has. But the people on an individual basis who were follower of Krishna, Jesus Christ, Buddha, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or other, they remained sane and calm and in peace because they were enlightened. So it further says that we had no way of discerning truth from falsehood except the word of the great spiritual leaders and teachers. Now we have at hand a gift representing the consequence of the advance of human consciousness over time. So, of course, like I said, the human consciousness is becoming advanced as well, including women are becoming more enlightened as I watch and I listen. One of the talk of Eckhart Tolle is that women are more getting enlightenment than the men because of many reasons. Um, so we are in basically in ignorance, and we have to come out from ignorance. That is, and we need to reconnect with our infinite field, and that is very, very important, you know. So uh, now let's continue to uh, read it. Um, okay. Dr. David Hawkins further says that the advance of the truth does not necessarily bring tranquil water. In fact, it may disturb things for a period of time. Spiritual people projects a future of hearts and flowers, and the possibility that peace will come as a result of peace marches or other activities. We will have peace, all right, but it may take a few thousand years. There is no point to being impatient with the evolution of consciousness. The best way to contribute is the quiet, diligent work of inwardly becoming more loving, kind, and self-responsible person. Yeah, that's amazing. So uh, now it's going to be a very important topic. I'm going to show you here, uh, and that is the dualism. Does uh, does anyone know about dualism or non-duality, and what does it mean by duality or dualism? Uh, If anyone is watching on Facebook, you can put a comment as well. Do you know what is duality or dualism? Uh, you can speak as well by turn on your microphone, or you can put the comment as well. So basically, the dualism is a philosophy, is a so-called reality of today's age, and it refers to that everything is divided into two opposite things, and that's how our world affairs are being dealt by ourselves or on a collective level. What does it mean by dualism? Mean if there is a day, then there is a night. If someone is happy, then there is sadness as well. If there is good, then there will be evil. And if I am here, I, then it means there is opposite other person is who is you. But that opposite person is I in its her or his self as well. If there is a man, then there is a woman as well. So if there is a big, there is a short as well. Someone is a higher, someone is a lower as well. Someone is prospering, the other one is uh, failing in maintaining the prosperity. So that's duality. That's a belief system which Dr. David Hawkins is saying we got and we indulged in that philosophy very, very rudely from not Newtonian paradigm of reality. Newtonian paradigm of reality was believing on physicality, existence of physicality, and that also based on um, cause and effect. And what does it mean by everything has a cause to make an effect? Every effect which we observing is because of some cause and reason. And that cause and reason is basically uh, predominantly referring to materialism, because we know that if there is some press on a wall, there is a cause, and that causes a force on the wall. So that's why the wall will break. Somebody will say, if, for example, if this is a pen, and if it's I release it, then it will go down. So that who is pulling it down? Who is causing this pen to go down? That's a gravity. Gravity is a cause. Now, this idea or this predominantly scientific physicality-based paradigm is prevailing at the moment on you and me. Everyone is, I will say, victim of. What does it mean? That basically in ultimate reality, there is no duality exist. Duality exists only when we follow our mind, because our mind's nature, our mind inside my skull, which I have created, and that intelligent, very super intelligent brain basically only identify, only see the surrounding when there is a duality around us, where we start to learn that this world is um, based on duality, and that's our mind start to integrate with our five senses, and that belief system comes from many hundreds of years, or maybe thousands of years, and that's why we are stuck in that until we don't believe on non-duality, which gives the message of oneness, that the whole universe is one. The entire cosmology, myself, yourself, is nothing but we are part of one thing. That belief system, sorry, is, I mean, that belief itself a belief. Um, and we basically believe system, we have to avoid and get rid of this belief system, because belief itself based on duality. But for saying, for making the understanding that the duality is a curse and is an enemy of the ultimate reality. So we don't need to believe on anything. We need to just experience what is going on beyond my egoic mind. Okay, we have to uh, avoid or come beyond from Newtonian paradigm of reality, and that is the ultimate thing which we can know. Now, what does it mean? Also, it's very important, because if we believing on duality, then I will create my individual self. I. It means I am something. I am ego. I am something, and you are separate from me. For example, this item is separate from me. This pen is separate from me. This I mean, all things which are with you, they are all separate from me. So that is the outcome of dualism or dualistic mindset, which is a big deception. Um, we know that we cannot avoid it because our whole life is designed to support and follow the dualism and duality, and that's why we always remain in um, what we call it war, poverty, sickness, agony, suffering, and the biggest thing is ignorance. So, because of our ignorance, we have developed duality, and unfortunately, our religious people, they all 99% people, they are victim of duality. They interpret that the God create um, two things, so evil um, and guidance. So it does mean that they admitting that the God created evil, which is which is not possible, because God itself is a light, itself is the only the guidance. God cannot create evil. Evil is created by my mind, my ego mind, my collective ego mind, where we are living on this planet. So that has created the dual system. Because if I say there is a God, then my egoistic mind, my dualistic mind will create an opposite identity. We call it devil, shaitan, we call it uh, any name, and we start to fight this deceptive shaitan or Satan or devil with the God, and that is our one of the foolish thing which we do. Um, so we have to be very careful about once we don't need to do, and that's why um, we talk about only myself. And if you see that we all talk about, when you mostly talk uh, or you think something, it start or end with I, me, I. I like this. I was going there. I was cooking. I was going to the office. I was earning money. I. So this I has basically developed a separate. entity, unfortunately. And that's why we are very self-centered and egoic, selfish human person. And we all are very selfish because of this separate personal I we have created. And that's why this world is very, very suffering and in pain for many people. Okay. So this I is one of the cursed thing which we have developed ever. Okay. Reality is there is nothing I exist. It only exists in my mind because I am living. I have been taught by my parents, my teacher about I, and that is a false I have developed within me. And that's why I don't care if somebody is dying. I don't care if somebody needs something because of my egoic I. And it is a huge thing. So that is the infinite topic. Today we learn uh, about our uh, that we know the truth now. Okay. And the truth is everything is a recording, and truth is everything is not hidden. Everything is open. We truth is that we are ignorant, except our prophets, Avatar, Krishna, Jesus Christ, Buddha, Prophet Muhammad, um, and uh, and many other people. They were enlightened, including son of Prophet Muhammad, who's Ali alayhi salam. He was also enlightened person, and there are so many other people as well. Um, dual dualistic belief system we have to get rid of because that is a very old paradigm based on materialism, based on physicality mindset, and we are victim of that current. Everybody believes, everyone religious people believe on dualism. Actually, it does not exist. It is existing because of our ignorance. Our mind has developed it. We and because it has created self, myself, I. That's why I am different from you, and that is one of the biggest thing which I can not imagine. So that is the topic for today. Before we go to the next question, I have made a I have taken a question from the book as well. Now we will learn this idea of in form of question answer for a couple of probably 2 or 3 weeks, because through question answer we will have more clarity about what is consciousness and how we can identify our God or our Allah um, through this consciousness, through this realization, through this super supreme intelligence within me, but I am not aware about. So, if you have any questions so far, tell me. Otherwise, I will go for the question answer series. And if somebody is on Facebook, then you can ask the question by commenting. And Javeria is with me on
Yes.
Zoom, so so we
Hi.
can.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, hi, good afternoon. So
Um,
we,
yes,
yeah,
I
you have a
joined
question?
late, but yes, I just joined late, but the line you spoke and you taught about God Almighty Allah, that God didn't create evil. He is the guidance. He guide us. So this is the concept in our society that it is said most. I heard most of the time that God create evil and angels, but God create only guidance and the holy ones. the evil and devils are the creation in our are created by our mind, our egoic mind. And it was so touchy and amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Well then, Javeria, you got the highest truth of this world. Well done. And let me repeat it. What does it mean? That we all people, wherever we live, whether we live in India, Pakistan, USA, UK, Canada, Africa, Middle East, Australia, anywhere in the world, we basically refer any bad things also to with the God, that and any evil also directly, indirectly we refer with the God, or and then we say it is with the order of God, it is with the order of things. So we associate evil with the God, which is the biggest ignorance in our life. God is only light, God is only truth, God is only love, God is only enlightened being, God is only uh, guidance. So all other evil or bad things, only our mind, my ego mind, and our collective mind of the whole planet, whole mankind, they created evil. And they created an evil because of ignorance, because of egoistic mind. And that evil they call them shaitan, that evil they call um, uh, Satan in Quranic Arabic context, and in English we call devil. Uh, and that only my own creation, my own mind. That's why we refer every bad thing with devil. Okay, but always remember, is devil does not exist. Only it is created by my mind, and I always blame to devil for, rather than I take my own responsibility for doing the bad thing. So I refer to a devil. The more pathetic thing, I refer devil, and I equivalent, I make it equal to God, and I make and stand in front of God, which is a really, really bad thing to, because the thing, the ignorance, the height of ignorance, which is devil, cannot be equal or cannot be enemy of God. Remember, because God is alone all the time. God cannot create or cannot have enemy. Okay, that we make enemy, only my ego mind made it. And that's why we have to understand that why we uh, we live a dualistic belief system. And this is called the dualistic, and this philosophy is called dualism. And that is a illusion. Okay, that is a illusion, that is a delusion to believe on dualism. Okay, and it its foundation uh, was from thousands of years, but recently we got it from Newton. So Newtonian paradigm of reality was very materialistic, and that's from there we are stuck still after hundreds of years. Newton came in 15 or 1600 century before, but we still follow his dualistic belief system. But good thing is, because of spirituality, because of Rohaniyat, because of truly spiritual people, they are getting rid of this dualistic belief system. And we uh, have understood that entire all cosmology and universe is the guidance, and we are all connected, like our souls are connected, and nothing is hidden, nothing is private, everything is open to God, and we only can deceive ourselves. So that separate I is the biggest killer of our life. And That's it. So let's go to the last part of our today's class, and it's a question answer. So we will read it and we will try to understand what is that. So I would ask Javeria if you can start reading. The question is, how can I understand my life with no I? It's a big question. So Javeria will read the answer and then we will try to little explain it.
Yes, well, I'm excited to read this. That when in life, when I'm living a life with no I. And how can I understand my life with no I? The answer is don't try. You'll only get stuck in in a concept you call nodality. Truth is not a concept, but a realized realization merely by hearing that everything emerges spon, uh, spontaneous, spontaneously spontaneously spontan- spontaneously by virtue of what is you have nothing to do but begin to notice it. You don't have to think about it is or figure out its meaning. Simply begin to notice that everything is happening spontaneously by virtue of what is what it is, and that nothing costs anything.
Yeah, uh, and I can continue this is saying, in the state of pure consciousness, all projections cease and everything revealed to be perfectly that which it is. In reality, you see that the meaning of anything, what it is, that is its meaning, what it is. What's the meaning of giraffe? The meaning of giraffe is to be a giraffe. Now it's a big understanding and I want to share with you. Let me, sorry, let me go back to the question. First, we need to understand what the question is, and then if we understand the question, then we will be understand easily its answer based on truth. The question is, if in reality there is no I, and that I is created by evil or my ignorant because of my egoic mind, then how I can live life without I? Because I exist, I do, I eat, I go, I speak. So I exist here in my world. But how I can live the world without I? Now the question answer is given by Dr. David Hawkins. He said, don't try to think that you will live the life without I. I will remain with you because of our conscious, our collective egoic mind has developed it. Our worldly affair is designed, unfortunately, like this. Okay. Um, and what is the non-duality? Non-duality is opposite of I. It's called non-duality. Non-duality. Non-duality is derived from dualism. So this world is divided into two things, that everything has opposite, we call it dualistic thinking. If there is a day, there is a night. If there is a man, there is a woman. If there is a big, there is a small thing. Someone is high and someone is on a less height. So there is a God, there is a Shaitan or devil. If there is a power, there is a less power. So we call it dualistic thinking. And that is a creation of my ignorant mind. But we are living this world with this mind. What is then reality? What is then opposite of what is truth then? The truth is oppositely true, which is non-duality. So that non-duality refers to us truth. Okay. And what is truth? Truth is not a concept, is not something idea, but it's a realization. Okay. Like how you know that you are right? How you know that someone is not right? You will feel it. Okay. And that feeling is the consciousness. The degree of that feeling make you higher being, closer to God. And if you have a no feeling or less feeling or weird feeling, that make you away from God, mm, far away from God or Allah. That is the truth. Okay. So difference between person who is living with consciousness and without consciousness is a degree of realization, a degree of feelings what they have. Okay. And one important thing Dr. David Hawkins is saying is that this world is spontaneously happening. All things are happening like a water in the stream, like a water in the stream of water, like a river is flowing in one direction. River cannot go back, okay? River just flowing. We are also living in this type of universe, okay? There is no cause and effect. Nothing has have an effect because of some cause, okay? There is no cause and effect. Our dualistic mind has created this cause and effect. And that is one of the biggest truths we need to know. Because if we start to believe on cause and effect, that everyone has uh, an effect because of some cause, it does mean that one thing will be um, driving the other. So one thing will be cause and other thing will feel effect. So there will be again two things. Whereas the ultimate reality say there is no two things. Only we all are one. We all are part of one oneness. We all belongs to one oneness. Okay. And that is the only reality. Um, and our consciousness is independent of any projection, okay? And everything, God is uh, perfectly perfect, okay? And God is pure consciousness, okay? And and here, what the example David Hawkins is giving to us is about giraffe. That what does it mean by giraffe? Giraffe or any tree, or we can take a metaphor with anything, or a mobile, or a line, or they say like how the giraffe is a giraffe, therefore the truth is truth. Okay. In reality, the meaning of anything which we gave is just um, is a meaning. We don't mean that it is the same thing. For example, I give you an example. Okay, I this is a cup. Okay, is in my hand. Now, why we call it cup? Because we have trained our mind in this world. Something like this is called cup. Okay. Now, any figure which is similar to this, we will call it is another cup of different design. Now, according to reality, ultimate reality, this is a cup and is a physical cup. We we only know through its just a design, okay? but we don't do go into the deep of the cup. For example, this cup is made by glass. This cup is made by uh, billions of atoms and molecules of different thing, and we do not.
It's
Uh,
14
if
hours.
this cup is we see in 3D or 4D reality, then this cup is more complicated than an object that we know that. And he is saying in reality, in ultimate reality, everything is very complex. We cannot understand everything but just by labeling it, by giving it a quick meaning. So a giraffe is a giraffe, but actually the giraffe is more much complicated, but we only know how the giraffe look like, how the giraffe is taller, and we know that, and we start to deceive ourselves. Oh, I know giraffe. No, you don't know giraffe. You only know two three things of the giraffe. What about other thousands of things of giraffe? You don't know, but you claim that you're deceiving yourself that you know about the giraffe, and that is our ignorance. That we don't know this cup is actually in the reality. We only know this is a cup by only superficial meaning we give, but in a deeper sense, we don't know uh, hundreds of things about this cup. Okay, we don't know how deep this cup is, what sort of liquid we can put it, what will be the effect of the atoms and molecules on the liquid if we take a sip, um, uh, why this cup is half an kilo. um, we can describe its color. Why this cup? Is it a transparent cup or it is something? Which type of molecules or atoms is made of this glass? And so many questions we can create, but we cannot answer all questions. Okay, eventually our mind will collapse one time, where the other things we cannot know entirely, and that happen because of our egoic mind. Our egoic mind wants to just label a quick thing and thus start to deceive the mind. Oh, I know that thing. I know. No, you don't know. And that's why that's happened with our God. We know few and very few things about God, and we start to trick ourselves. Oh, I know who is God. No, you don't know. And the people, they have invested the whole of their life, hundreds of 80 years of their life, to know the God, to discover the God, to have connection with God, and you just know through the book that who is God, and you said that you know the God. That's how. So this is the egoic mind is tricking your mind and taking you beyond from the reality. Whereas the consciousness help you to know that everything from the deeper grounds. And that's why the spiritual people are very pure people. That's why the spirituality gives you the deep understanding of the everything, not on the superficial level. So, and that's why this class is designed for that many people, even you are religious or non-religious, you still can understand the consciousness. Okay, and only advantage to the religious people from this class is they will more close to God, and to the non-religious people will have advantage from this class, that you will start to know more close, deeper to the God through consciousness. Okay, through the entire cosmology, what we have around us. Uh, so that is the one question. Okay, so the other question, other two, three question, I will bring next week, next Sunday, and will make us more understandable that what is the phenomena of consciousness in more deeper sense. So if you have any question, then you can share with me before I end up this call.
Well, thank you again. It was amazing.
No problem. You're very welcome. Um, I'm happy. I'm content that you have understood some secret and reality of the world,
Yeah,
and
lots.
that
And I'm
and
so
that is,
impressed. Yeah.
yeah, and that is the purpose of my class, that I want to share something which is significant, which can make the true life of someone or help to become a true organic person or true person. So that's week number 9 in evolution. And we started a long time ago, like 9 weeks ago. What is consciousness? So that's all things is going on. So next week 10, week 11, we'll have only question answer series. Okay. And that will give us amazing um, understanding about to know the more secrets. So bottom line, before I end up the call, that don't try to understand the things on a superficial or ordinary level. We only uh, try to deceive our mind that we know the things by by just seeing the design of the thing, and we say, oh, we know that. No, we have to go in deeper to understand the true nature of that thing. And that thing happened with our God or Allah, that we need to go deeper and more closer, more advanced knowledge about our God through the consciousness. The lesson number 2, which we learned, that there is no cause and effect in this whole universe. Nothing is causing because, and nothing is creating effect. Everything is going, is flowing in like a water, running in a river, in a stream, and just we are part of that stream. Just like a big bang happened, and after big bang, the whole universe is expanding. And imagine that all expansion is just a flow of water, water away, away, away. Okay, and that is happening. Okay, nothing is causing any other thing. Okay, and the third thing is there is no duality exist, but our whole world is running through duality, dualism. We all believe on dualism, unfortunately. Even religious people believe on dualism. And that's why we created devil. That's why we created Shaitan or Satan. And we make that Satan opposed to God. And that is the biggest ignorance we did. If we want to really benefit or from our God, then we need to understand only one being exists, and that is God. Only one thing exists in a truly spirit, and that is a God or consciousness. Okay, all other thing which we know only is a creation of my mind, my evil mind, who has created evil. So let's meet next Sunday with a new topic to understand ourselves and nature of our world, and more importantly, the idea and the concept of duality or dualism is so important. So thank you so much for joining me. See you next week, next Sunday at the same time on Zoom and also on Facebook Live. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.